Okay, so we all know we're supposed to eat more fiber, but do we really know why? Today we're going to go way beyond the basics and uncover the hidden powers of this nutrient, and you're about to see why it might just be the most underrated hero in your entire diet.
Let's just be honest for a second. When you hear the word fiber, what's the first image that pops into your head? For a lot of us, it's probably some sad, boring health food we're told we have to eat. But you know what? That old story is seriously outdated. It's time for a rewrite.
So let's just ask this question. What if fiber is about so much more than just, regularity? What if it's actually this powerful defender of your body, working behind the scenes to protect you from disease, manage your weight, and maybe even influence your mood? Let's find out. To really understand fiber's power, we first have to know what it is. And it turns out it's not just one thing. It kind of has two very different but equally important personalities. So here's the deal. Fiber is this unique kind of carbohydrate. Now, unlike other carbs that your body breaks down into sugar for energy, fiber, well, it resists digestion. It basically takes this long journey through your system pretty much intact. And that one simple fact is the key to almost all of its amazing health benefits.
And here they are, the dynamic duo. On one side, you've got soluble fiber. This is the stuff that dissolves in water and forms this thick gel. Think of it like a sponge that soaks up stuff you don't want, like excess cholesterol and sugar. Then you've got insoluble fiber. I like to call this one the broom. It doesn't dissolve, it just adds bulk and sweeps through your intestines, keeping everything moving along nicely.
So where do you find these fiber heroes? Well, they're in a ton of delicious whole foods. Oatmeal is a fantastic source of that soluble, sponge-like fiber. Whole wheat is packed with the insoluble broom. And then you have these absolute all-stars like apples, beans, and nuts that give you the best of both worlds. This is exactly why a varied, plant-rich diet is so important. Okay, so we know what fiber is, and we know where to find it. But what does it actually do on its journey through our body? This is where the story gets really interesting. Let's follow the whole journey. First, in the stomach, that soluble fiber gel slows things down, which is why you feel full for longer. Then, in the small intestine, that slower pace helps prevent those nasty blood sugar spikes after you eat. Right here is where the sponge also grabs onto cholesterol, stopping it from getting absorbed. And finally, way down in the colon, the insoluble broom adds that bulk and makes sure everything moves through smoothly. Now, those are the daily benefits, which are great, but fiber's real power goes so much deeper. It's also a long-term defender against some of our most serious chronic diseases. I mean, just look at this. Research consistently links a high-fiber diet to a lower risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, certain kinds of cancer, digestive issues, and obesity. We're not talking about just one or two benefits. This is a systemic, body-wide protective effect. It's a really big deal. So how does one single nutrient do all of that? The answer, it turns out, lies deep inside you. Fiber's greatest, most incredible power is its role as food for the trillions of bacteria living in your gut, your microbiome. This is the real secret. This makes fiber what's called a prebiotic. See, it's not just passing through, it's a full-on feast for your gut microbes. As these good bacteria chow down on the fiber, they ferment it and produce these incredibly powerful byproducts. And the most important of these are called short-chain fatty acids. And these short-chain fatty acids, or SCFAs for short, have this incredible range of benefits. They help crush chronic inflammation, they help regulate your appetite and insulin, and they literally fuel the cells that line your colon. And some new research is even linking them to better mental health. So when you eat fiber, you're not just feeding yourself, you're feeding this internal pharmacy that produces compounds that are absolutely essential for your health. This all sounds fantastic, right? But now for the reality check. How do we actually put this hero to work in our own lives? Let's get into an action plan.
The simple, unfortunate truth is that despite all these incredible benefits, most of us, we're essentially starving our bodies and our gut microbes of this critical nutrient. We are living in a state of major fiber deficiency.
So how bad is the problem really? The average American eats only 15 grams of fiber per day. Just 15. Now, keep that number in your head as we look at what's next. And here's where you can see the problem crystal clear. The average person gets about 15 grams of fiber a day, but what's recommended is at least 25 to 35 grams. That means most people are getting less than half of what they actually need. We have a massive fiber gap. But the good news is closing that gap doesn't have to be hard.
It's actually pretty easy with some simple swaps. Instead of juice, just eat the whole apple or orange. Swap your white bread for whole grain. Toss a can of beans into a soup or salad. They are fiber powerhouses. Instead of chips, grab a handful of nuts or some baby carrots. And maybe the easiest hack of all, just sprinkle a tablespoon of chia or flax seeds onto your oatmeal or yogurt. Each of these little changes adds up really fast.
Now, here is a really important piece of advice. If your body isn't used to a lot of fiber, increasing it too fast can cause some, let's just say, bloating and discomfort. The key is to go slow. Add one new high-fiber food every few days and make sure you drink plenty of water. This gives your digestive system and your gut microbes time to happily adjust.
So we'll leave you with this thought. Every single meal is a choice. You have trillions of microbes in your gut. So are you feeding them or are you starving them? When you think about it that way, the power of fiber becomes crystal clear. It's not just roughage, it's the fuel for your body's most important allies.